Junie B. First Grader, Dumb Bunny. Chapter 5, The Jelly Bean Game. Lucille's daddy clapped his loud hands together. Boys and girls, please find a seat at one of the picnic tables. Lunch will be served shortly, he called. I waited to see where Sheldon was going to sit. May waited too, because both of us had to keep track of that guy, of course. Only too bad for me, because as soon as Sheldon picked a table, Lucille sat down next to him. And Varun, May slid in on his other side. And I got shut out. Wait, hold it. No fair, I said. Then I quick tried to squeeze myself between May and Sheldon, but May would not budge herself. I did a grrr face at her. May hissed like a snake. I stood there very puzzled. I do not actually have a comeback for a hiss. Finally, I went to the other side of the table, and I sat down across from them. That dumb May. I grumped to just myself. She keeps getting one step ahead of me today. Plus Sheldon is one step ahead of me too. I looked across the table. Lucille was whispering to Sheldon very secret. May leaned her head over and she listened through Sheldon's other ear. Whispers can come right through Sheldon's head apparently. I put my chin in my hands. I don't stand a chance in this stupid egg hunt, I said to her. He gave me a little pat. Because sometimes a little pat is all a friend can do. Only guess what? Just then something very nice happened, and it's called Lucille's Nana walked over to where I was sitting, and she sat in a chair at the end of my table. I jumped up real thrilled. Nana, look, it's me, it's Junie B. Jones, and you are sitting right exactly next to me, I shouted. The Nana glanced her eyes at Lucille's mother and daddy. Yes, I know, dear. I lost the coin toss, she said. Coin toss, she said, kind of annoyed. I sat back down and tickled her arm. This reminds me of when we ate dinner together last year. That was very fun, except I accidentally broke your crystal glass. Remember that, Nana, huh? Do you? The Nana nodded. Oh, yes, I remember, she said. I thought back. Plus, I accidentally busted your feather pillow, and if I'm not mistaken, I spilled beanie weenies all over your expensive linen tablecloth. The Nana looked at me. You're not mistaken, she said back. I smiled and patted her hand. Good times, I said real soft. May heard me talking. Well, Lucille and I are going to have good times too. Right, Lucille? When I come to swim in your pool, that will really be good times, she said. Sheldon looked at her and grinned. Don't count your chickens before they're hatched, May, he said. The Nana did a little chuckle. I think you mean hatched, dear. It's don't count your chickens before they're hatched, not hashed. Sheldon raised his eyebrows. Really? Are you sure? Because at my house, my Aunt Bunny brings chicken hash for dinner every Sunday. Chicken hash is her specialty. He smiled real proud. Aunt Bunny was a chef in prison, he said. The Nana's face went funny. She lowered her head to the table, and she rested her cheek on her napkin. I leaned my face down next to her. Speaking of bunnies, Lucille said. Lucille said the Easter Bunny would be here today, only I haven't actually seen him yet. And so where is he anyway, Nana? The Nana did a huff at me. Nosy Junie B. Jones, why did you have to ask that question, she said. My Nana does not want to talk about that. Do you, Nana? You made a teensy little mistake about the bunny, and you don't want anyone to know how you almost ruined the party. The Nana did a groan. Lucille kept on talking. My Nana was in charge of hiring the Easter Bunny, only instead of hiring the real Easter Bunny, she hired a cheap fake Easter Bunny. Right, Nana? The Nana did not reply. Lucille went on. The fake bunny came to our house to get his pay yesterday, only his fur was real matty, and in the top of his ear was chewed off. But he told my Nana that he refreshened up nicely. And so Nana gave him cash money in advance, and then he hopped out the door, and he never came back. The Nana raised her head. Thank you, Lucille, she said. Thank you for sharing that with everyone. You're welcome, Nana, said Lucille, very pleasant. You're welcome. The Nana rolled her eyes. Lucille does not understand sarcastic, I believe. Just then, Lucille's daddy stood up at his picnic table. and he said it was time to get the show on the road. He held up a silver bell and rang it in the air. Ting-a-ling-a-ling, ting-a-ling-a-ling. Then boom, waiters started bringing food from all over the place, and it was the deliciousest food I ever saw. There were barbecued hamburgers and tasty hot dogs and crispy chicken fingers and crunchy salad and yummy potato chips and Swedish pickles. Plus, there were even delicious deviled eggs. Whoa, what a spread, I said. I stuffed the devilish egg in my mouth. Also, I stuffed in a pickle and some chips and a giant chicken finger. I didn't stop stuffing for a real long time. Then finally, I leaned back and I rubbed my big fat tummy. Whew, I'm about to bust a gusset, I said. Are you, Nana, huh? Are you about to bust a gusset too? The Nana frowned her eyebrows. Ladies don't bust gussets, Junie B, she said. I was surprised to hear that information. Really, I said. Then what do ladies bust? Roger raised his hand. At our house, we bust our guts, he said. Herb smiled. At our house, we bust our buttons, he said. Sheldon stood up. At our house, we just unzip our pants, he said. After that, everyone laughed and laughed, except not for the Nana. Finally, all of us got finished eating, and the waiters took our plates away. Then, wowee, wow, wow, Lucille's daddy brought out the most beautiful box I ever saw. It was wrapped in shiny yellow paper with twirly, curly buttons, ribbons. He held it way high in the air so all of us could see. Whoa, whose birthday is it? I shouted. Lucille jumped up and giggled. That's not a birthday present, Junie B. It's a game prize. Before we hunt for eggs, we're going to play a very fun game. And whoever wins the prize will get the thrill of a lifetime. Right, Daddy? The daddy smiled. Well, we certainly hope the winner will be thrilled, he said. It's a pretty good prize, we think. Just then, he put down the box and he pulled a big jar of jelly beans out of a paper bag. This game is called the jelly bean game, he said. Can everyone see all the jelly beans in the jar? We've got lots of colors, don't we? We've got reds and yellows and blues and blacks and greens and oranges and whites. He stopped and held up his finger. But, he said, in this whole big jar of jelly beans, there is just one purple one. That made all of us made a hushy sound. Ooh, we said together, just one purple one. The daddy smiled. Then he put the jar back in the bag so we couldn't see the colors anymore. Okay, now I'm going to walk around the picnic table. And each of you will have a chance to reach in the jar and pull out a jelly bean. But remember, you may only pull out one, okay? Okay, we hollered. Okay. Lucille hurried over and held up the beautiful box. And remember this too. The first person to pull out the purple jelly bean will get this prize, she said. The thrill of a lifetime. All of us clapped and clapped. And then we bounced and giggled and wiggled and clapped, and we waited for the jelly bean jar to come to us. It was the nervousest day of my life, I think. Because what if someone got the purple jelly bean before I even got my turn? That would ruin my whole entire chance. I put my hands in front of my eyes. Then I peeked through my fingers, and I watched the children pick. Roger's table went first. He picked a red bean. Then Camille picked an orange bean, and Chanel picked a green bean, and Shirley picked a blue bean. My table came next. My heart beat faster. Jose picked a yellow bean. Then Lenny picked a white bean, and May picked another white bean, and Sheldon picked a black bean. And then, at last, it was time for me. My heart was pounding like crazy. I bent over and did some deep breathing. The daddy held out the bag to me. I breathed some more. Okay, Junie B, he said, any time now. I stood up and I did a gulp. Then, very slowly, I reached my hand and sighed. And I felt all around for purple. I wrinkled my eyebrows, real curious. What does purple feel like, I wonder? I said to just myself. The daddy said, please hurry up. I swished my fingers through the air some more, through the jar some more. Then, all of a sudden, I felt it, I tell you. I felt purple. It felt roundish and beanish and purplish. I grabbed it real tight. Then I quick pulled my hand out of the jar and opened up my fingers. And guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Chapter 6 is called Me and Santa.
Oh, she got the purple. She got the purple. I just knew it. There's no she got the